car prices have been coming back down? Yeah, of course they have. Car defaults are crazy. Bro, if you buy a car right now, do not buy unless you're getting a great deal. Do not buy a car you don't feel great about with a great deal. People are defaulting on auto loans like nobody's business. They're getting repoed like crazy. Lots are full. You can get an amazing deal on a car. Do not just rush to buy. Especially, I mean, look, Teslas in America are still the best-selling EVs by a huge margin. They're still good. But a lot of companies tried to get into EVs like Ford, etc., did not sell well. They are selling those for massive discounts. If you want like and I can't quite speak to the quality here, but like if you wanted a Dodge Charger EV or something, you can get like 40% off, 45% off, because they didn't sell enough. A Mustang Mach-E, you can get all that shit way cheaper. A Hyundai EV, yeah. So have you heard about how Alibaba is selling reproduction shells of a really iconic car? No, I don't know this, but I do know. I was talking with Stefik, our China researcher, and she was telling me, she was talking to her mom, I think back in China, and her mom was telling her, yeah, you know what the hot new car is? The Huawei car. Apparently, outside of like BYD, which is number one, Huawei, which is normally a phone and tech company, it's like the Apple car. It's like the Huawei car is like rising up the charts. It's like a super popular car. And I looked into it, and the sales numbers are great for the Huawei car. Huawei EV car. Yeah, it looks like this. I do not mean Xiaomi. Xiaomi has their own car that's doing pretty well. I'm talking about the Huawei. The Huawei car. That looks pretty good. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know anything about it. I did not know Huawei had a car until recently, until she was telling me about it. And apparently it's doing really well. For Americans, like Tesla car was made for Apple devices. Yeah, it's like that. NVIDIA car with Jensen Huang's signature. Well, that's kind of funny. It's like, if you're one of the car companies that's not like Tesla, or what's another like Western tech focused car company? We don't even have any. If you're not Tesla, if you're like a Rivian, I'm sorry, or Lucid, yeah, okay, like those cars. If you're like one of the old school car companies like Ford or Mercedes or whatever, these companies are working with NVIDIA to do all of their tech. NVIDIA's Drive AI thing, I saw a lot of it when I was working there. They're like partnering with everybody. Like Mercedes, their future of self-driving and everything all comes from NVIDIA's just doing it all for them. So NVIDIA's trying to be like the tech behind every non-Tesla car. Why is the US putting so many tariffs on Chinese tech like BYD if China is suffering too much? So it would be great if countries operated under the principle that they are all friends and sing kumbaya and like really want to help each other. But the situation is, as China's economy, at least the real estate side of the economy, struggles, they are trying to prop up growth by really hammering exports. China's been trying to massively push exports to grow their way out of the real estate bubble bursting. And to do that, they are heavily subsidizing industry. And so China is able to dump, I'll say dump. Again, this is a contentious issue, and I have mixed feelings on it. But China is at lower cost than anyone else, offering EVs, batteries, and solar panels. That's the three main things they're doing to dump on the world. They need to grow these industries. They're high tech, powerful future forward industries. And so every other country is, well, not every other country, but definitely the United States and Europe are throwing up tariffs to try and block that because they just can't compete. They can't compete in those three industries with China. And if they let that stuff get dumped in their market, they won't have a market. America will not have any solar producers or EV manufacturers or battery manufacturers if China can sell their goods here at cost because no one can compete. Whether that's a good thing or not is really up to debate, and I don't have a strong take. But countries that aren't the US, like Australia, are getting flooded with Chinese EVs because Australia doesn't have a domestic car industry. Australia is not trying to protect their own car manufacturers, so they're just letting it in, and they're getting a bunch of cheap Chinese EVs that are like great quality. I mean, they're getting a bunch of EVs. It's debatable. We'll see how it works. My dad owns a BYD. It's a good car in Australia. It's a good car. The BYDs are good cars, bro, especially for their cost. They're incredible cars. Yeah, there's just no getting around it. Everyone who's actually tried them, they sell like crazy. Every market they go, they sell like crazy. But the problem is American car manufacturers will lose all their jobs if they have to compete with that. So it's a problem. They're trying to balance that out. Did you buy that Alibaba stock because of the guy who said I go all in on China? No, I did not buy that because of that guy. I actually have held Alibaba stock for a very long time. I sold most of it a while ago, and I had some left over, and it mooned, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? I have abandoned investing in China because even the Alibaba shares that I quote own, I don't really own. They're only shares in a Cayman's Island middle entity corporation called a VIE. You do not own the shares. No foreigner can own shares in a Chinese company. I own a VIE headquartered in the Caymans that claims to have a right to Alibaba's profits. It's a shell company, and it's listed on the New York Stock Exchange, which is crazy. And at any moment that can be taken away from me. I have no legal right to actually like claim ownership of Alibaba. Once you really deep dive on that, it makes it like impossible to want to sustainably invest in Chinese stocks, I think. In my opinion, once you really know the rules, like what you actually own, it's like nothing. So I started like dumping. I used to own a lot more China stuff. I started dumping it. And it hasn't done very well either, so. How much longer can Twitter last? Probably last recording. It's a great question. I've been wondering the same thing myself. Twitter is not break even yet. It still loses money every quarter. It loses money hand over fist, bro. And eventually, Elon Musk has to either pull the plug or sell a bunch of Tesla stock to pay off the debt. I'm not sure what he'll do. I don't know, but the clock is ticking unless he can turn it around. Using of the site has not dropped that much, but advertising has dropped dramatically. They're not making any money. And blue checkmark sales are a drop in the bucket. They're almost nothing. So it's a tough situation. I don't know what's going to play out, but I do know that he has set himself up for, he talked about it on stage when he said, "Fuck you advertisers." He's basically said, if Twitter fails, it's their fault. These woke advertisers for blocking free speech. So he's already gave himself an out. Like if it does fail and goes bankrupt, he's gonna be like, well, it's their fault. Situation is bad, and it's every month it's worse. I mean, they are not making money. They are losing money. Now, he has a lot of money. Understand that Elon Musk has a lot of personal wealth, but he does it to sell Tesla stock if he wants to afford their bills. As much as they've lost, it's still a drop in the bucket compared to his total wealth. The real thing that would be bad is if Tesla's troubles continue. If Tesla doesn't start turning things around, like getting sales growth again, getting car sales growth, then that's real trouble. I mean, Elon really needs Trump to win, give him a government position, and give Tesla tax breaks and like special contracts. That's what he needs, because Tesla's like chopping down. Yo, big A, did you see the Meta showed off their new AR glasses? Why do you think they announced it if they're not planning on selling it yet? That's not that crazy. They're just showing off the tech. It's not ready to sell. They're not that good yet. They're a little bulky, a little uncomfortable, but they're on their way. The Meta Ray-Ban glasses that record things, it's a little dystopian. It's a little Black Mirror, but they're pretty good. I've seen them in action. I know a guy he lives in LA. He quit his job to start an ice cream stand. Like he has a little ice cream cart that he just puts around the city and sells very delicious ice cream. And I thought, wow, that's kind of crazy. Like that seems like very tough to make money from. But then he started marketing it. So he started using the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Well, I'm not doing an ad here, whatever, And he's recording himself like making the ice cream and serving it to people and their smiles and like saying hi to them. And he puts it on IG, and he had some videos hit like 4 million recently. He had one where 2 cops come up to buy ice cream from him, and then he like is making it for them, and they get a call and have to run away while he's making it. So he's just like, oh, holding it. Dude, that shit got 4 million views. He's been blowing up. That shit's crazy. So I don't know. It's kind of a cool way to, and now like when he puts a drop or whatever, he's like, hey, I'm in this part of LA. People just all show up. It's crazy. It's good marketing. Have you seen Zuck's new drip? I saw that he made a shirt for himself that said like Latin words on it, like never forget that you're the greatest or some shit. Like I saw that Zuckerberg is getting so insane. He's really leaning into the hype beast. Yeah, he did. Let's see if I can find it for you. Zuckerberg Latin shirt. Zuck out nihil. This is him. He made this shirt himself. What it means, I don't know. It means either a Caesar or nothing. But what it means is either a Zuck or nothing. He changed it for himself to say he's the modern day Caesar. And then he made another one that says Patha Mathos, which means learn through suffering. As he showed off the bulkiest AR glasses I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, he's still upgraded from what he used to be, bro. He's on a positive uptrend. Bro, that is true. He suffered more than anyone. Actually, true. Do you remember when when data showed that Instagram was largely responsible for a spike in teen girl suicides? And then he was brought in front of Congress and had to answer questions about it? Like, what a pain in the ass for him. What a pain in the ass, dude. How's that fair to him? Didn't suffer as much as Twitch streamers? He's not, yeah, obviously. Obviously, Twitch streamers suffer the most. They have the hardest job.